I was awake, but I actually got out of the bed at like 12:30ish, whatever. So I came downstairs, and I was like, oh, he's in the suitcase still.
Picture this. Trapped inside of a suitcase with no chance of getting out. This man's final hours were filled with fear and desperation. But the question is, how did he end up in there?
Now tell me exactly what happened there.
My boyfriend and I were playing last night, and I put him in a suitcase and we were playing. And like kind of hide and seek kind of thing. So I fell asleep and I woke up and he was dead in the suitcase. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Like he had like blood coming out of his mouth, and I don't know, like he had like an aneurysm or what happened.
Right, okay, all right.
On February 24th, 2020, Sarah Boone was arrested for the chilling murder of her boyfriend Jorge Torres Jr. that took place in their apartments in Winter Park, Florida, on a disturbing game of hide-and-seek gone wrong. When the deputies that arrived on the scene asked about what happened, Boone initially said that it was an accident, but unfortunately for her, detectives were able to find evidence that contradicted her version of events. Boone's story started with her zipping Torres inside a suitcase, claiming it would be funny after playing a game of hide-and-seek while they were both drinking.
All we had was a bottle of wine. Literally, just a bottle of wine. Okay. Doing puzzle artwork. Then we decided to play hide and seek.
Boone then stated that she went upstairs and went on to say that she didn't mean to have passed out on the bed and slept throughout the night. A few hours later, Boone recollected that she had got out of bed at midday and frantically then realized her boyfriend was still inside the suitcase, suffocating to death. When she opened it, she was met with a horrible surprise. Torres was pale and not breathing at all. After being left in the suitcase for the whole night, Torres unfortunately died when the deputies arrived just after Boone dialed 911. Evidence provided by the prosecution revealed that Boone killed Torres Jr. on purpose during a heated confrontation. It was a tragic end for Torres, who likely never expected his final resting place to be a piece of luggage. Would you have believed Boone's story? What really happened? According to the medical examination, Jorge's body had been beaten up and asphyxiation was what caused his death. He also suffered wounds, bruises, and a black eye. He also had scratches and bruises on his hands and his back. It was later determined that he had spent 11 hours trapped inside the suitcase, and at the moment of his death, he had alcohol in his system. Given that Boone and Jorge had been drinking before his demise, it's possible that alcohol led to the tragic incident by clouding their judgment or starting a fight, which is not new to the couple. But the story doesn't end there. According to Boone, she claimed that she panicked when she found him and even tried to do CPR on Torres.
No, I pulled him out of the suitcase. I tried giving him CPR.
But according to the deputies that arrived and searched Boone's phone with her consent, the video evidence they found says otherwise. This is where Boone's story starts to jumble up.
Do I have to watch this? I continuously throw up. I don't sleep. I don't want to see it, if that's okay.
Well, it's on your phone, and you can either explain it or we take it for what it is.
Yeah. We're just trying to give you the opportunity to tell us what's going on. That's it.
It's that long? 2 minutes.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me. Fuck you. Fuck you.
That's you, your voice.
Stupid. That's my name. Don't wear it up. Yeah, that's when you choke me.
I don't want to watch it, please.
Last time we talked to you, you had said that you put him in the suitcase, he had 2 fingers hanging out.
I flipped him over. I flipped him over, and that's where it was.
There's 2 different videos and a still picture where, yeah, it shows you flipping him in different positions, and him saying that he can't breathe, and you saying fuck
So
you.
this is upside down. So in order for him to have gotten into it,
It was flipped up.
right, it was flipped up normal.
Yes.
Like as if you're packing something. So this is upside down.
Guys, this is killing me right now.
So this image is upside down, and then this small video that occurred 11 minutes later, it's flipped over the other way, closer to your dining room table.
Okay.
Now he's obviously still in there. So he didn't, how did it go from the back to the front?
I flipped it.
Okay.
My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep,
Well, that's what you did.
Yeah.
but not intentional of.
No, you told me you went upstairs because
Look,
you were
Stop
getting
here.
ready for bed.
stopped here.
Okay, but
Where's here?
show me where you can see any fingers coming out, because there's the end.
It's, and his head's right here.
Mm-hmm.
So going like this, rather than going all the way up, it's like this.
But why is he saying I can't breathe, and why is he pushing on it as if he can't get out?
It doesn't show a hole.
There's no
gap.
hole. There's no fingers. I don't see his fingers. There's no hole.
I don't know what you want.
Video evidence discovered on her phone revealed Torres crying and begging Boone to let him out, repeatedly saying that he was struggling to breathe as he tried his best to get out of the suitcase. The 2-minute video shows the suitcase facing downward, where Boone can then be heard laughing and mocking Torres. "That's what I feel like when you cheat on me." Boone then called 911 and informed the operators that her boyfriend is dead, and went on to describe what happened using the hide-and-seek story. Given Jorge's severe injuries and the asphyxiation evidence, it's impossible not to wonder how Boone's delusional mind believed the hide-and-seek story would hold up under investigation. In her 911 call, she also added that he had blood coming out of his mouth, and then claimed that she thought Torres could break out of the suitcase and join her in bed later on. In her interrogation, she first claimed that they weren't intoxicated from drinking wine, but then she switched her story, blaming what happened on the alcohol and swearing that she will never drink again. It's crazy to see that she thinks she still gets to live free after this all goes down. During her interrogation, the first thing Boone clearly insisted was that she has never laid hands on Torres, and claimed that he was notorious for being clumsy and hurting himself. She then went on to state that their relationship was good, mentioning all the goodwill that she had done for him and that they were just spending a good time together before the incident happened.
We had a good time sitting on the back porch, having wine, and smoking a couple of cigarettes, and then decided to go inside and literally paint, do puzzles, and play, and listen to music. That's why nobody got out of sorts. This is what's mind-blowing to me. Like, I have no clue. Nobody laid a hand.
To claim again that nobody laid a hand on anybody. Little did the authorities know that this remark would later change to another story. Torres' death was apparently a result of a freak accident, and Boone thought Torres would just climb out of the suitcase with no problem at all. Boone's behavior during the interview, especially her repeated statements and questions, seems to reveal to the detectives that she was more concerned with protecting herself rather than with coming clean about what happened. At that point, Boone is visibly seen becoming uncomfortable and anxious when the detectives started to point out inconsistencies in her claims and continue to press her even more about the specifics of what happened and the night and the days after Torres' death.
But the point is, you left the living room where he was begging for help and went upstairs. Regardless
again,
of how long you were there, you left. You say,
I thought he was the boy calling wolf. Again.
Okay.
So when he asked to be let out, like, what's your reasoning for not letting him out?
When I was upstairs,
No, when he's asking on the video, he asked multiple times. He asked to be let out. I can't breathe. What? Like, why didn't you let him out?
well, number one, I had no idea it was going to end like that.
Okay.
Number one.
Okay.
Number two, just, you know what? I'll give you 5 minutes or so in there. They'll give you 5 minutes or so.
5 minutes for what?
Well, based off the video, one video's at 11:12 and the next one's at 11:23, so you actually gave him at least 11 minutes per video recording. So my thing is, when it stopped, he asked multiple times, I mean, why? Why did you not let him out? It's just a simple question.
To be honest with you, I mean,
Were you punishing him?
no, just...
Well, that's what you're saying in the video.
More than a year after her boyfriend's murder, in court, Sarah Boone sat expressionless as she officially faced a murder charge for the death of Jorge Torres Jr. in their Winter Park residence, where she is accused of stuffing him in a suitcase and leaving him for dead. The defense team for Boone has stated that they want to claim that Boone was the victim of domestic abuse and that she reacted in fear for her own safety in an attempt to sway the audience and judges' emotions, rather than the severity of her actions. Did you see this coming? Well, I definitely did. The couple's run-ins with the law are not new. Court records describe Sarah Boone and her boyfriend's history of domestic abuse. Boone has previously been charged with significant offenses relating to her relationship with Torres. In July 2018, Boone was accused of battery by strangulation by none other than Torres. In court documents, Boone claimed that Torres had assaulted her physically, kicking her in the eye and leaving her suffering from more injuries besides the black eye after talking to a man at the bar. At the time, Torres told investigators that she had attempted to strangle him and that she would have knocked him unconscious if he had knocked her off of him. The back and forth accusations of abuse made by Boone and Torres as the investigation progressed only served as proof of the horrible effects of domestic abuse on both people involved that eventually led to the murder of Jorge Torres Jr. They were both previously detained in Orange County for violence against one another, and at this point, the deputies weren't sure about who was really the main aggressor. Would you have thought that there was a history of violence between Boone and Torres? Though the argument put up by Boone's legal team was that Torres' death was unintentional and that Boone's stuffing of Torres' body in the suitcase was a mistake she made. They also made it clear that Boone and Torres had an abusive relationship and that his maltreatment was what led to Boone's violent actions. Boone was ultimately found guilty of second-degree murder by the jury, and she was given a 42-year prison sentence. In the course of her trial, Boone has had trouble keeping a lawyer, and her first one, Mauricio Padilla, repeatedly tried to leave the case because of an adversarial attorney-client relationship. Mauricio Padilla had a hard time getting along with her and wanted to quit the case a few times. It's not common for a lawyer to be at odds with their own client like this, but this case has been full of surprises. Despite Boone's protests, Padilla withdrew his motion and was later replaced by several public defenders, who were also all forced to resign because of a conflict of interest. Should we even wonder why? Frank Bankovitz, Boone's current legal counsel, was formally appointed to defend her in July 2022, but Boone is continuing to voice concerns about her lack of communication with her legal team. She informed the judge in a letter she sent to him in October 2022 that she had only spoken with Bankovitz 3 times. Boone also claims that her legal representation has not been fair in representing her in letters she sent to both her lawyer and the judge overseeing her case. The letter, dated March 22nd, is written to Frank Bankovitz, who was appointed as Boone's attorney on July 11, 2022. Boone claims in the letter, which appears to be missing pages, that she has been attempting to call Bankovitz at 2 different phone lines for the past 8 months without success. It seems that Boone's defense attorney is now working under some serious time restrictions. He informed the judge at a pre-trial hearing that he still has a lot of work to do before they are ready for a trial. He still has to speak with Boone again and get the help of some specialists who can help her with her case. On top of that, the lawyer has another case coming up in February, so he asked if they might move Boone's trial until April. Looks like they have a lot on their plates, but perhaps it's also a lack of interest on the lawyer's part. Another issue for Boone is that apparently she hasn't been allowed to attend pre-trial sessions, which has been a real source of frustration for her. She even sent a letter expressing her disappointment that she wasn't permitted to attend these discussions, even though court TV and other media outlets were. She claimed that she had a right to be there at these meetings and that she needed to know what was being discussed because it affected her case. Being so out of the loop in your own case must be difficult. Regardless of that, Boone's new trial is planned to start on July 24th, 2023. What are your thoughts on the ongoing legal drama about Boone's case? Do Do you think it's been fair? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. For more videos like this, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.